This episode is brought to you by HP Plus. In a world full of smart devices, isn't it about time your printer got smart too? Now printing is smart with HP Plus, and the HP Smart app is how it all happens. You can print from your phone with just a tap, no matter where you are, even from your garage/home office/yoga studio. Huh, that is smart. HP Plus. Learn more about smart printing at hp.com/smart.
It's time for the 2-minute drill with Joe Ostrowski and Joe Giglio on BetQL Daily.
Welcome back to BetQL Daily, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Joe O, Joe G, I'm Aaron Hawksworth. So excited to have you on the show. Joe O said he feels like he's coming off the field. He's so fired up after yesterday's games. We're going to play a little 2-minute drill. Little overreaction Monday, if you will. So the Texans beat the Jags 37-21. The bets that hit, Texans +3 hit and the over hit in that one. Trevor Lawrence, he looked uncomfortable out there. He didn't have time to throw, doesn't really have any wide receivers to throw to. His stats, 28 for 51, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Again, he is a rookie quarterback, so, you can't expect him to be perfect right away. It may take some time for him. But Joe G, we're going to get to the Eagles and Jalen Hurts in just a minute. But are you out on the Jags?
I don't feel good about the Jaguars after yesterday. When I talked about them as a team that could win this division potentially with 7 or 8 wins, because I think the division stinks. I still feel the division stinks. But I was thinking they'd beat the Texans in week 1. Like, they'd get wins like this. The schedule's pretty easy early, but they got to win these games. And they were non-competitive for a lot of that game. Yes, I feel worse about my Jaguars AFC South pick, no doubt.
Joe O, do you have any thoughts on the Jags?
Yeah. Stay away. I mean, really. Has there been anything positive?
Stinks.
So what we say, don't overreact to the preseason, but it's all carried over. And again, you look at Urban Meyer, people think it's a joke. I'm not joking when I say it. This guy might quit. He's done it in the past. He has a history of that. He looked completely overwhelmed. Is it going to turn around? I don't know. We heard some things in camp that weren't too positive. Players are not happy. Burning timeouts early. Like, it would not surprise me if he doesn't want to end his career like this and he just gets out of Dodge. And maybe people remember a couple NFL games that he ended up coaching, but maybe not. I mean, there are some people that are bringing up, is he going to be the first coach gone? Because he quits.
That's a great point. And This has Nick Saban written all over it.
It could be. It could be. It would not surprise me. No worries about Trevor Lawrence, but let's remember that defense was terrible. And boy, there's nothing positive to say about Jacksonville. Nothing.
All right. Well, speaking of positive things to say, are you now convinced about my Saints?
I'm not yet convinced. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna let myself go there yet. But I will say, the more this happens, the more that Sean Payton. I mean, his ego is about to get out of control. His head is about to get bigger than our screens here. Because look, he's won with Teddy Bridgewater now. He's won some games with Taysom Hill. If he turns Jameis Winston around, I got to give Sean Payton credit. I mean, goodness gracious, they had a bunch of guys out. They had injuries, new quarterback, and they dominated that game. I mean, that was all about Sean Payton. Not taking anything away from Jameis. Jameis executed the offense, but Sean Payton, he just wins. I mean, the guy just wins.
Are we going to give the Saints defense any credit?
Yes, of course.
I mean, come on. They went against Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
They didn't even get 250 yards. It's unbelievable. I know.
And Joe G, I was just going to say, I've got to give you a lot of credit. You were super high on the Eagles all week long, winning this game. They did everything right. Jalen Hurts, the 2 first-round wide receivers scored touchdowns. The defense held the Falcons to 6 points. Are the Eagles now the clear favorites in the NFC East? Because I still kind of like the Cowboys after what I saw from them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say clear favorites. Dallas, as long as Dak Prescott is healthy, Dallas, I think, should win the division. But the Eagles, look, what I saw to Washington, and we know the injury now to Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, the Giants absolutely stink. That's a bad football team. So I looked at the odds this morning. The NFC East, the Eagles have at least jumped the Giants in the division. They should have been ahead of them anyway. But Look, I've been saying all summer, the Eagles have the best combination of O-line, D-line in the whole division. If those guys stay healthy, they're going to win football games. Like, they mauled the Falcons yesterday. You see that screen pass to Rager that he ran in? Like, Jordan Mailata sent the corner into the stands. Like, they blew him off the ball. They dominated up front, and Hurts executed the offense.
See, there are certain games when you might want to back one side, and it's kind of about fading the other. Like, I think Arizona, Tennessee, we'll get into that one. I think that's about fading the Titans. I felt that yesterday's result, Joe G, I don't want to criticize your team at all. There's nothing bad to say after 1 week, but it's about Atlanta. The reports that I saw, them taking it slow, they're way behind schedule. I mean, it proved to be correct. 99 penalty yards in week 1. You got the offensive guru, and the offense is not ready. And let's remember, brand new everything, right? They have a restart with that organization. They had an opportunity to draft one of those top quarterbacks, and they said, let's take a tight end. Usually it doesn't work out for tight ends in the first year. We'll see if that changes by the end of the year. But they might regret passing on the next quarterback because Matt Ryan – How bad did he look, Joe G? You watched every snap of that game.
He looked bad. He looked old, and if he could, They didn't protect him. I mean, we know what happens. If Matt Ryan doesn't have protection, he's in trouble. I'll say this about the Eagles. We'll find out more over the next month. The next 3 games: Niners, Cowboys, Chiefs. Okay?
Oh.
If they can get one of those games and keep their heads above water, 2-2, I think they're going to be rolling because the schedule eases up. Realistically, they could lose the next 3. I mean, that's
yes.
They're going to be big underdogs, probably all of them. So the test is now coming after the Atlanta win.
Joe, let's take a look at the NFC North. What were your thoughts on the Bears?
Bears are trash.
Do we have to
Andy
do
Dalton
this?
Shouldn't be out
Feels
there.
like we don't have to do this.
Well, here I'm going to end in a positive note, Jake Hassan. All right, I actually am. The Bears gave a better fight than I thought. With all the variables that you throw in the wash, knowing that Andy Dalton was going to be on the field, it was limited, I think, 5 snaps only for Justin Fields. But the NFC North sucks ass, okay? It is trash. It is now, after 1 week, Overreaction Monday. Let's say the NFC North is the worst division in the NFC. When everybody was saying it's the East, it's the East, it's the East for good reason, the NFC North, the Packers are no good, or they're just a little bit above average. That's going to be the worst division in the NFC. And guys, am I insane for considering this morning, Bears are tied for first. Everybody's tied for first. Am I insane for considering Bears plus 650 to win the division? Justin Fields is going to be – he's already out there. He's already out there.
He looks
and Andy
good.
Dalton did not impress. Yeah, he got his touchdown. Like, it's not going to be long. And you've got Cincinnati next, right? I don't think that's crazy at plus 650.
Well, here's why the only reason it's not – I mean, as you said it, I felt like they need to come help you. But
yeah,
there's got to be a bet on the board you would take if the Packers are going to slip, right? That's where you're going with this. And,
right, exactly.
And I mean, after the way I saw the Vikings yesterday, I mean, goodness gracious, I got Zimmer blaming everyone but himself after the game too. I mean, he's throwing everyone under the bus. And the Lions, they did fight. The Lions did fight for Dan Campbell, but they're just so limited. Yeah, I just worry about the Bears' defense. Like,
yeah,
I think the offense will get going once Fields gets in there.
Are the Bears going to be an over team? Are they an over team?
Yeah, I think they might. I mean, Matthew Stafford was just, completing anything he wanted last night. That was too easy.
Yeah, right. Which team are you going to go with if you're not going to roll with Green Bay? I will say, another takeaway from that Rams game, I preferred San Francisco over the LA Rams coming out of the West. I'm not sold on the Rams. People are going to say, look at the score. They won by 20. Stafford looked great. Efficiency, yards per play, all that stuff. Listen, that's a thin roster. Where was Aaron Donald against this putrid Bears offensive line? I didn't really notice him that much.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football is back, and the best bet you can make is downloading the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It doesn't matter if you're new to gambling or an old pro, FanDuel has something for everyone. And as an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you know your bets are safe. There's also never been a better time to use FanDuel, because right now, you'll get up to $1,000 back if your first bet doesn't win. You can even turn a small wager into a big payday with a same-game parlay bet. Just sign up with the promo code Spotify to place your first bet risk-free on FanDuel Sportsbook. Download FanDuel today. 21 plus and present in Virginia. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Seattle might be the best team in the division. That was impressive.
What about
Seattle
the Cardinals? Really surprised me and Chandler Jones. That was a great game. I was pretty surprised by what Arizona did.
I was most proud of that pick yesterday, of the ones that I got right, because I didn't hear a lot of chatter about this game. And the thought going in, okay, you got the Titans as a favorite. They're the favorite in the division by default because everyone else is so terrible. Did the defense get better? And they lose their great offensive coordinator? Derrick Henry had 8 rushing yards in the first half. I'm out on the Titans. Let's overreact some more. I'm out on them. I'm not sure it's going to turn around for them.
Yeah, and I like Arizona more now than I did before yesterday. I mean, I picked them to win too. I took them as well with the +3. But boy, if J.J. Watt plays the way he did, and if Chandler Jones plays the way he did, they might have enough on defense to supplement that offense. And isn't Kyler Murray the one guy that, like, if he just puts it all together, Kyler might put up numbers and have a season that, like, no one's ever had before. 4,000, 1,000 is not the question. That play where he ran around for like 10 seconds and then just calmly stopped and threw the ball 35 yards down the field, perfect. I was like, no one could do that.
What about Kyler for comeback player of the year?
What about
Or
Kyler
MVP?
for MVP? It could be
there
amazing.
You go.
Man. Okay, so this Arizona-Tennessee game, was it more about Arizona or more about Tennessee? It may have been more about the Titans.
Well, if that's the case, then the AFC South, like, who's going to win that division? I know we just kind of faded the Jaguars 5 minutes ago because they looked bad.
The first place team.
Who's in first place?
Houston.
The Texans, no. I said this last year during the season that they should change the rules. No one from the NFC should have been allowed in the playoffs. They might have to change the rules in the AFC this year. Just
make a pick. Make a pick. Houston's in first. David Culley leading the boys.
I'll stick with the Jaguars. I got my bet in. I got to keep it.
They were 25-1 yesterday to win the division, the Texans. Jeez.
They're going to lose by 3 touchdowns this week, by the
Okay.
way.
Yeah, I'm with you. Agree.
All right, so we've called it falconing, chargering, and the Mets metting. Can we start calling it Shanahaning?
What? What are you talking about?
The near collapse. I mean, the Niners are up 1 million points. I'm just giving that game away.
Come on. That was never, no.
How about my guy, Jared Goff, just slinging it in the fourth quarter? He was trying to bring him back. By the way, the average Joe today, Jimmy G, got the win, right? Cousins put up some numbers, but not enough. Goff put up some numbers, not enough. I feel good about that.
Wait, I thought statistically Kirk Cousins was like the best quarterback to ever walk the earth. What do you mean?
Well, listen, yesterday wasn't his greatest day, but
no day that Kirk Cousins has is ever his greatest day.
Let me just check where he is all-time passer rating. I think he's 6th.
He's the best unvaccinated quarterback in the world right now.
Well, that's for sure. The other famous one stunk it up again yesterday. That's for sure.
By the way, Shanahan's only done this in 2 Super Bowls as well, so it's not the craziest thing. You want it? You want to be laying points with him?
Well, you know what's actually a big deal with that? They lost Jason Barrett, their best corner. That was part of the comeback by the Lions. They're pretty thin at corner. You talk about an over team? The Niners might be an over team.
I mean, Shanahan just loves to surprise everyone. Who the hell's Elijah Mitchell? And why is he leading the team in rushing yards? I was like, what? Elijah Mitchell.
Sherman in fantasy, inactive before the game. It's killing me.
Ayuk, no targets, I think.
Yeah, that was a sweat I was not expecting. Like, it was done. What was it, 41-17 with 2 minutes left? 41-17 ends up being the sweat. So I'm in 5 survivor pools. I had 40 picks. Half of them were San Francisco. So I was kind of freaking out there. Yeah. They might cover. Detroit might be a cover team. When they're getting more than a touchdown, might be a team to consider.
I agree.
And what do we think about the Browns? Couldn't finish the job in KC. Joe G, did you learn anything more about the Browns or the Chiefs? What were kind of your takeaways from yesterday?
Yeah, the Browns aren't afraid of them, and that's the first thing. Like, I think that's half the battle when you play a team as great as the Chiefs. But let me just say this about Patrick Mahomes, who moved to continue to be undefeated in September with that win yesterday. Are we numb to Patrick Mahomes' greatness? Like, are we just like Patrick Mahomes yesterday?
We take it for granted, don't we?
75% completion, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 131.4 rating. And it's like, oh yeah, he played like he normally does. He's the greatest quarterback statistically we're ever going to watch, and we're just numb to it. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns was a ho-hum game. That's what it is. That's where he is right now.
The pass across
here's
the
one stat
to Tyreek Hill, where John Johnson was just lost. Like that's insane.
Unbelievable.
About his rushing touchdown. That scramble was insane. Here's the Chiefs' offensive number that really popped to me. 3rd downs. They converted 69% of 3rd downs. Like,
can't beat him. You can't beat him that way.
It's tough. It's tough.
Couple minutes left. Teams that overachieved that you'll look to sell or fade, Joe O.
Teams that overachieved. Or
underachieved.
Can I say the Browns overachieved, even though they're 0-1? Because the best number that I saw yesterday was Cleveland at 15-1 to win the Super Bowl. And so I'm thinking, okay, look, they're playing the Chiefs today. I'm not going to bet that. I'm going to bet the Browns to win the Super Bowl, but I'm not going to bet it before they play the Chiefs. And then during the game, I'm like, oh, you idiot. That number's going to be like 8 tomorrow. People are just going to go insane. But they end up losing. And this morning on FanDuel, the number drops. It goes from 15-1 down to 17-1. So even though they lost the game, I felt they overachieved. Well, maybe not really. Not really. I think they played to their level. They just proved that they do belong with Kansas City, as Joe G mentioned. So that's something that I'm taking a look at. I'm not looking at the heavy favorites that ended up losing.
Yeah, I'll go with Denver quickly. Not because I don't like them, but they're the same team I thought they were yesterday. About 9-8, pretty good. That was about the Giants yesterday. Denver was who I think they are. The Giants are bad. It's a bad football team.
That's a rough injury of Jerry Jeudy, but I love the way that Teddy looked against one of the, what most people believe is a pretty premier defense. Top 5 to top 8 in the Giants. So.
All right, we are rolling on BetQL Daily, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Aaron Hawksworth, alongside Joe Ostrowski, Joe Giglio. On the other side, we're going to reset the NFL player future markets. It's going to be fun. Stick around.
These Joes are helping you bet like a pro. It's Joe Ostrowski and Joe Giglio and Aaron Hawksworth on BetQL Daily, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook.